First one's called Newspaper Ink. A whiff of newspaper ink, and once again it is 3 a.m. Mom and I are loading bales upon bales into her crumbling Toyota, and wretched and tired, I helped, for even at 12 years old, poverty had been obvious. And around 7 a.m. we're dining lavishly on breakfast burritos, and with the sun had come the first folk in bathrobes to grasp the Sunday edition. But this morning was special, for I'd ripped all the McDonald's free coupons from each newspaper, and would, for the next month, continue to dine lavishly, treating friends to hash browns and Big Macs just because.
Yeah.
Thank you. The next piece. Cool. This next piece is called 86. Anyone here in the restaurant industry or know what 86 is? Okay, so 86 is when you're out. So, my grandfather died a couple of days ago. He was 86 years old. When things are meant to go, they're meant to go, you know. So, your seed created all of this, Grandpa. I had said to him one night, drinking with our family, his children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren gathered around. The romp with Grandma in the waves of Hawaii had been our meager genesis, and with such far-reaching ripples. Wake up! Any second now. Here, wake up! I've brought a bowl of nuts. Peanuts, your favorite. And a few cold ones. Come on. Let's go swimming. Then a thin bath. We never snuck a beer in like we said we were going to, but this time it would be fine, I'm sure. Expecting a heaving of chest, a slow rise and fall, a bristling of the whiskers. My eyes are playing tricks on me. Still that rakish grin, that well-trimmed stash, only with palm to forehead ice cold as his absence revealed. Will his lips part soon in song? Nay, this requiem is mine to sing. Look, I'm wearing your watch. Look, your barbershop belt. Look, I have on your jacket. You can't hear me, but I brought a pinch of tobacco and quarter for your lids, because inflation has even reached the underworld. Those who dig their own graves know ultimate repose if they, with serenity, bury their shovels, bury their lives. I've now remembered to feel the sun and the wind and the shovel's handle in my hands, smooth in places, rough in others, to relish every load of dirt slung over my shoulder, though each brings me closer to my final repose. Mono no ware, you were never so clear as in the presence of death, sitting in this small white room with my grandfather's corpse. This moment I cannot tear myself from, though it slipped like sand through my restless fingers. The moment's container, filled as it is with past moments, is welling up and spilling over like the tears I cannot shed. Mono no ware, you were never so clear as when he'd wake up and say, "Oh, what strong coffee! Oh, the flowers, they're in bloom. How do you do that? Oh, listen to that." Billie Holiday playing on the record player. Oh, mein Gott and Heimen, all he could say the last day, eaten alive from inside as he was. Ay, ay, ay. Tears are not mine to shed. He looks too peaceful. The old boy has had it, too good to be mourned. Instead, the urge to beat his chest until he jolts up, roaring, "You rascal!" And I chuckle and feign a jab to his liver, and he throws up his hands and says, "Don't shoot!" with that dentured grin. Yours is the first corpse I've seen. Second if you count my first dog. How apparent this body is mere shell, chipped, cracked, but with sinews still, but without further use. Discarded, snakeskin, slither on. And we could not turn away, in hope perhaps that his chest truly would rise and fall. Nostrils would swell, and mustache bristle. We could not turn away, but he had departed, and now it was our turn to take our leave of him. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And since we're doing a little eulogy, a little requiem here, I'm going to read one of my pieces from Iconoclast, 3rd edition of Synergy Zine. That last one I want to thank Ricky Lee for last-minute edits on, my arranger. This one's called Grandfather Clock. My grandfather and I had a nightly ritual of scotch, soda, and storytelling. Usually he would tell the stories, and I would sip the scotch and soda, which worked well for us both, as he had more tales to tell, and I had more thirst to quench. Often, as he would struggle to weave the ends of a 50-year-old yarn, he would give up in frustration and digress into the details of what it's like to get old. He'd say, every morning you put on your eyes, you put in your ears, you put in your teeth, you take a pill for your waning memory, a pill for your degenerating mind, a bag of prunes for your clogged bowels, a case of Gatorade for your cramping legs, and so on. I tell him, thank God for modern technology, eh? He'd say, just thank Johnny Walker, who makes it all bearable. And his cloudy rheumatism eyes would smile. I'd say, the young have their own regimes too, you know. Though rather than break our failing bodies up, they break our nubile forms down. A balancing act of the ages, I suppose. How we take a shot and a beer 10 times over to lubricate the anxious grind of our minds and to placate our worry that we may never find our own path. How we drink bucket loads of water when we wake with 4 aspirin to combat a hangover, like this morning, that resort to chugging dog hair out of desperation. How we tremble like green reeds in the roaring river of establishment and drink countless cups of caffeine to keep up with its violent flow. How we sit for hours in front of a computer, in front of a TV, living lives of fantasy, because reality never seems to stack up to what we've been sold. How we toke up or hallucinate to give our eyes the same clouded, rheumatism-stricken sight that his now naturally possessed. I expect all this to cheer him. At least make him remember that youth is as difficult as old age, though it seems only to set him awash in nostalgia. I told him of my friend Genta, always manic in high school, seemed to be turning into a sage man though, or at least one would think given his endless stream of MySpace bulletins and blogs proclaiming new life's truths he'd uncovered. Until they ended. And we discovered that he'd taken his parents' car, driven it through a fence and onto the freeway with a flat tire. And we'd gotten into a wreck, attempted to hijack a police cruiser, then ran across the 210 freeway to be plowed over by a big rig, stone fucking sober. My grandfather put down his glass and said to me, I've found that those who restlessly grasp at truth, lifting stones for the rich grubs of wisdom beneath, are those hungriest for sanity. Like Hemingway, like Eliot, like Morrison, like Smith, like Hutz, like Genta, like myself, like most writers, like most youth. Sitting there staring at me through clouded, rheumatism-stricken eyes, he reached over and patted me on the back saying, it'll be all right. One day you'll be putting your teeth in your mouth every morning instead of that cigarette and beer. And I said, Grandpa, I hope all 3. Thank you.